Hey guys, Rich here, Thrill the Treasure. Long time no see, or I guess long time no talk. Last time we spoke, I said I'd be back in about a week, and here we are. It's going on, I believe, 4 weeks. So first off, I just want to apologize real quickly to all the subscribers and everybody. I really want to keep these consistent and plan on doing so, but the holidays kind of snuck up on me there. Right when I made that video, Christmas was right around the corner, the New Year's and stuff like that. So I apologize. That will not happen again. And I'm really happy to be back. So first and foremost, let's start with this. As you guys, as subscribers know, our motivation is to create a small community where everything's open. We talk and share, and the comment sections have been excellent on the videos so far, which has been so exciting for me. And as you guys know, exactly why I started the channel. So I started the arrowhead giveaway for anybody that made a comment and there was a subscriber. We're going to give away these points for the next few weeks. Okay. And so that said, I took all the subscribers and people that made comments from the last video a few weeks ago. The one about is the Forrest Fenn treasure on a mountain. And the winner, after I picked it out of a hat, is the username Matt. The winner is Matt, M-A-T-T. Matt, I'm going to notify you as well, reach out to you. And if you remember, you get this point right here, this beautiful point. Here's a better picture of it, I believe. Let's see, 1 second. Where would you be at? Point. Right there it is, guys. So, Matt, I'm going to get your info. I'm going to send this to you. You win. And now, guys, as you remember, over the next few videos, the next one is going to be this one, and so on. This next one, for this video, for whoever likes or whoever likes, subscribes, and comments, this thing's translucent. So if you hold it up to the light, you can see right through it. It's unbelievable. It's from Kentucky, I think. And again, Matt, you won this one. So again, guys, as you see, there's 5 left, but I have plenty more. So I plan on doing this for every video until the season starts. Why? I think I covered it in the last video, but just real quickly, because you guys know Forrest, when he was 9 years old, he found the arrowhead with his father, and that started the whole entire chase in his mind and this lifetime of collecting. And what it led to the treasure, hiding the treasure, which has enriched our lives. So I just want to give back to this small little group of people. Arrowhead hunting is so much fun, and I'm hoping it spurs that in somebody too. And needless to say, it's a lot easier to go out and find arrowheads than it is the treasure, although not too much. If you guys have ever went arrowhead hunting, it's not easy, but there are thousands still out there left to be found. So, Matt, you won that one. Next person, just like the video, subscribe to my channel and comment, and I'll pick one for next week's video and announce it at the new video. So congratulations, Matt. Okay, guys. So anyway, I apologize for, again, not making videos. I just want to make this one short. It's not going to be too much content because this is what the more than anything, get out here and announce the winner and tell you guys that I didn't disappear. Okay, that was my main thing. But one thing I did do over the course of the last 3 or 4 weeks is I listened to a bunch of content, which that's kind of what got me started in the YouTube to begin with. If you guys remember, I listened to everybody's channel, everyone's YouTube. And once I started doing my own, I still listened, of course, but not as much just because you get busy and you're focused on your own stuff. So it was nice over the last 4 weeks to just get back to basics and listen to everybody else's comments and their videos. And as before, there's so much good content out there. I really have a lot of respect for a lot of the YouTube people. You guys know how I feel. We're all the same. There's no professional searcher. There's no top searcher. So I take everyone's opinions very seriously, and I love to listen to them. So that was really nice. So what I built this video on today is kind of like, after looking at all that content, I kind of came up with 3 things that I try to keep in mind or remember when working on my solve that I've noticed that sometimes when I'm looking at the videos, they kind of they don't take into consideration. So they might run with something that is completely not possible based on some of the facts we know. Not some of the assumptions, but some of the facts. So that's kind of what I'm going to base this one on. Okay. So first and foremost, I want to touch real quickly on the hot topic of the last month, which is the 200-foot searcher. K Pro and Kelzar has had a great roundtable about it. And I must admit, when I first heard it, I kind of reacted like maybe some of the people did negatively. I kind of felt like I was gut punched because I was like, oh my God, Forrest is telling searchers, all this information, this story in his home, and not everyone knew about it. And that was probably the first 2 minutes. And then once I calmed down and listened to all the facts, what I realized is that Forrest was just being polite and holding a conversation with the searchers in his home. What he shared with them is useless because we can never figure out who it is, right? And everyone's done a really good job of covering that, so I'm not going to dwell on that. Okay. So as I suspected, Forrest is a man of integrity. I really believe he is. And as you guys know, everything we do on this channel, every assumption we make is based on the fact that I don't think he straight up lies. He misdirects us in different ways, which makes this fun. So if we can't believe him when he says certain things, if he could just lie to us, and really there's nothing we can focus on to make this any easier to solve, right? So that assumption is something we'll always have. So that's the 200-foot searcher, my position on it. One other thing I'll say is that the only little concern I have is if you think about it, this searcher is a male, apparently really wealthy, doesn't need the money. So you would think that they're pretty intelligent. And I was thinking to myself, if I was that person and if they happen to overhear the conversations that's going on right now, I know they say that they could never know who they were or where they were, but that I don't know about that. Because think about this. If you're him and you heard that Forrest said somebody was wealthy, was with a female, only searched once, so it wasn't a real searcher, just one time, and sent him a picture of where they were at, do you think that person can maybe say, wow, that might be me? I mean, how many people do Forrest know that wealthy, that searched once, that sent him a picture, right? So I have that little bit of a concern if the person's still alive, of course. I know there's a theory that they might be passed away. So out of all the worry about it, I think that's the only thing I took away from it, is that guy has to be smart. So if he hears about this, it might lead him to do a backtrack to that picture and do a 200-foot circle search, what I'm saying? Make it a grid and search till he dies. But odds are, guys, that this person isn't on YouTube, of course, isn't into the know, it has no idea of this little blip of the drama that's going on with this. So not too worried about it. Also, one thing I did do, just because I can't help myself, is I did try to see if I could come up with anything that could be helpful. And again, I just said that there's nothing that could be helpful, right? And then I'm saying that I look. But that's just my nature, and probably some of your natures too. Okay, so I will say this. If you make the assumption that the person was on the Cody board for the museum, which I do, I think the two likely scenarios is either A, it's a wealthy individual from New Mexico, from where Forrest lives, and they kind of made the business rounds together and knew each other somewhat that way, would see each other at social gatherings and whatnot for business people in the community, or they're on the Cody board and they were with Forrest for a few years. I lean towards that one a lot just because the nature of this quote unquote friendship Forrest has described with this person, that he was surprised that they knew him so well. And so it kind of seems like the nature of seeing someone once a year, like on a board, like a board meeting, stuff like that. So what I did was I took all the board members over every year that Forrest was a board member. Okay. And then I combined them, and then I took out every female because the searcher was supposed to be male. And then also I took out every person that lived outside of the search states. And my assumption on that is because more than likely, if this person searched once, then they lived in the search state, if that makes sense. They're not taking it too seriously. So I highly doubt someone that say one of the board members from Texas that searched once went to New Mexico, when it drove up to New Mexico, or even, drove up to Montana. There was some, there's some board members in Tennessee and New York, all over the country. So if you make the assumption that the person's on the Cody board. If you make the assumption that he's Mayo, which that's the word, and you make the assumption that he lived in the search state, you can kind of take away a lot of the board members. What you're left with is interesting. And what I gained from it, if anything, and again, this is just in the back of my mind, like everything else. It's not something I'm running with or I think it's concrete, but it is in the back of my mind because it's worth it to have back there just in case, because it might be a piece of a puzzle you can use later on, right? Is that 95, maybe more, 98% of those people that are left live in the state of Wyoming. Okay, so just think about that. So what that means, needless to say, is that the odds are the person lived in Wyoming and they searched in Wyoming and the treasure's in Wyoming. Okay, the next runner-up in the search state would probably be Montana, and then Colorado and New Mexico had barely anybody that was left on the list that fit all the criteria. So just statistically, again, just keep it in the back of your mind, guys. It's obviously maybe as big as a rabbit hole as it can be. But like I said, you guys know how I do it. I like to just kind of get information, make some assumptions based on good, solid odds. And then that's a little piece of a puzzle that I might be able to put together later on if it comes up. Okay, so that's that. I'll never mention that again. That is what it is. Okay, so let's go to the three things. Let's pull up my stuff here real quick and see what we got. Oh, real quick, guys. Sorry. This right here, if you look on my screen, Thrill the Treasure, Outdoor Adventures and Forum Blog. I'm designing this right now. And this is going to be a blog and forum for our group, for Thrill the Treasure subscribers. So I know there's a few blogs out there. There's Dale's blog. There's K-Pros. They're awesome. I want us to have our own individual little one for our subscribers so we don't have to do all our conversations on the comments. Okay, so this is going to be really cool when I get finished. I'll click on blog real quick. You can kind of see that it's kind of a cool little setup. And again, it's going to be just for our little community. Okay, it's not even close to being finished yet, as you can see. But just look for that. I'll probably be about 2 weeks, and I'll have this launched. There's where the forums will go. Okay, so that I did want to update you guys on that. We'll have our own forum and website here soon. Okay, so the three things. Let me get my list here real quick. Let's see. Okay, the first thing I want to touch on is the hints in the book. Okay, so again, three things that I'm trying to that I try to keep in mind when I'm working on my solve. These are things that I thought about when I was looking at other content. The first thing is, I'll read this. This is from Forrest. There are 9 clues in the poem, but if you read the book, there are a couple. There are a couple of good hints, and then there are a couple of aberrations that live out on the edge. All right, so I bring that up because I've seen a lot of videos, not a lot, but a few videos where people go over, I'm talking countless hints they're taken from the book, Thrill the Chase. Now, again, I'm just speaking strictly on the Thrill the Chase right now, okay? We'll talk about the scrapbooks and the other books later on, if there's hints or not hints in those. That's a much different conversation, okay? But let's just focus on the Thrill the Chase. And as I just said a little bit ago, I believe Forrest tells us the truth. So the man right here is telling us there's 4 total hints in that book. 2 being good and 2 being aberrations that live out on the edge, which I would maybe use another word as they're stretch hints. Okay, 4 total. So that's just something to keep in mind. And I'm just like all you guys, if you look at my Thrill the Treasure book, or I have 2, but my first one, it is literally, looks like I studied for the final exam in college. You guys, I know you can relate. There's like, highlights and circles and then like huge long like arrows point to another page and just cryptic stuff, and just because you can find something interesting on every single page almost. It might be a hint, right? So that just can't be the case. So what I try to do is I try to take all that information that kind of screams at me, and I try to narrow it down to what those 4 would be. All right. So that's really all I got on that. It's not, none of these are going to be groundbreaking or like huge, huge ideas out of nowhere. These are just simple things that I just want to to give my opinion on, and hopefully it's helpful to some people. Because I hate for someone to like spend a year that's new, you know what I'm saying? They could miss this quote. They literally could and think there's like dozens of hints in the book and spend a year of their time, you know what I'm saying, putting together a solve on all this stuff when there's only four total in that book. All right. Okay. So the second thing I want to touch on is I saw a lot of comments in content, and I went back months, by the way, about the idea of how can we figure out what type of land did Forrest hide this on? Okay, so we're talking like national forest, say national park, Indian land, or the Bureau of Land Management, BLM land, and stuff like that. Now we know Forrest has said that he met with a lawyer, right? And he looked at it extensively. But there's one thing about it that I forget, and it's easy to forget when thinking about him planning this, okay? And that's that if we believe everything that he says, the spot picked Forrest. Forrest didn't pick the spot. Okay, this was a special spot way before the treasure was an idea in his head. Okay, so he didn't pick the spot based on if it was going to be a good place to hide a treasure. And I think that's really important, especially when you have the theories of like a land deed, right? Where there could be a possible like something that you don't really find the chest, you find something that takes you to another location, then you get a land deed. And of course, that would take out so many of the issues. But that said, we got to remember that this place picked Forrest. So he didn't really have a chance to decide if he wanted BLM land or national park land, stuff like that. Okay. So that's important. Okay. So I think the theory I have is that whatever partial land it's on, whatever type of land it's on, he went to those lawyers to figure out, okay, based on this, what do I need to do to make this as easy as possible for the person? And you know what? I don't think it's perfect. I think if you watch Forrest, any type of time he's asked about it, the way he answers, I think he makes it clear that he thinks the person owns it. And he makes it clear that he doesn't make it seem like it's going to be just clear cut, easy. Okay, so kind of goes into my next thing. This is where this opens up a bunch of cool stuff. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want to go into all of it tonight. But that said, so again, the spot picked Forrest, right? The original idea was to pass away from the cancer and have someone come find his bones and find the treasure, right? And the poem was written that way. He said, and it was different. It was worded differently to reflect that. So in essence, guys, if you really think about it, Forrest's bones, Forrest was the original Blaze. Okay. That was the original Blaze. He didn't make a blaze, and I doubt he even referenced a blaze in his poem. Okay, so why that's important is because it opens up what the blaze could be then, because you know what I'm saying, it wasn't already there per se. It wasn't his original idea. Then also really opens up the buried or not buried. Okay, it really opens that up to me as well. So, I thought a lot about this. It's just something to consider. The question is, is the treasure buried? Is it not buried? If there wasn't an original blaze, think about it. Put yourself in this position. If your idea was to pass away on top of the chest, you know what I'm saying, would you bury it and then pass away on it with your bones? Or, you know what I'm saying, how would that work out? Or would you just lay on top of the chest? This thing is to consider. But here's what I think the scenario is. Once he got better with cancer, okay, and you said to still do it, then that's when everything changed. So something in that environment had to be the blaze. So or he brought something in outside the environment to be the blaze. Does that make sense? So again, now we're talking, okay, did he carve his initial in the tree? Did he move a rock? Did he use a rock formation that was already there? So I just find it really interesting. And I think this is why I'm at one of the reasons why I think it's 100% buried. Now, Forrest has said many times he won't say it's buried, but he won't say it's not buried. Okay, so it's real simple. If you're going to break it down rationally, there's only one reason why he wouldn't say it was buried, or wouldn't say it's not buried, I should say. I even get confused. That's because it is. Right? You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, there's really, if you think about it like that, it makes complete sense. For the longest time, I thought the reason why he wouldn't say whether it was buried or not buried was because it had something to do with what type of land it was on. For example, national park land. So if he said it was buried, then when the person found it, they would take it immediately. But there's other issues involved, not just whether it's buried or not buried, that makes that not his motivation for doing it highly unlikely. That being the unlikely, it's a possibility that played into it. Okay. But I don't think that's the main motivation. I think the reason why he says it the way he says it is simply because of the way that it's buried. Now, Illinois Ghosts did an awesome video in regards to this. I'm going to put the link below in the description, showing the example of how he thinks it's hidden, and I agree 100%. I'll probably do another video on why, many reasons why. But listen, guys, this is 2019 now. All right. He has said himself that, every way he's described where this thing's at, it's not in the middle of nowhere. All right. It's not in the middle of the desert or in the middle of the hundreds of miles from man. Okay. Human beings have a tendency to find everything. Right. I think back to that movie, The Departed, has Leonardo DiCaprio in it. There's a gang member where they kill somebody, and his job is to hide the body. And he's kind of a dumb guy, but he drags the thing. He's set like 500 yards or 1,000 yards into this swamp with like knee deep mud and like weeds up to your waist. The very next day on the news, they wake up and there's a report that a jogger found it with his dog. Okay, so there's really a true tone to that. If you think about it rationally, can you really see that chest sitting out in any way, shape, or form? I don't care if it's covered by branches or what, or stuck in a rock shelf that visible. I mean, there's no way. In my opinion, there's no way he could not be so confident that someone's not going to stumble across it, because he has said many times, no one's going to just stumble across this. How does he know for sure some kids aren't going to go to that area? When I was 18 years old, I'd be the one that would climb all the way around off the trail, looking, just being silly and running into it. Okay. And the reason why is because it's under the surface of the ground. Okay. That is why. I think I'm going forever about it. He did a video recently where he put a shovel as just an avant-garde touch. He said, guys, I'm telling you, this thing is not in eyesight. That's what makes the blaze so important, and that's why the thing hasn't been found yet. That's just my opinion. So that all comes back to him being, the original blaze, guys. So that's really about it. I can go on forever with all this stuff, guys, but I think that's the three things just to focus on. The hints in the book, there are four. The fact that he was the original blaze, and what does that mean with what is the blaze now? Did he bring something in, or did he use something on location? And how did he hide it? Which, again, I think it's buried. And then 3, the spot picked him. He didn't pick the spot. Therefore, he had to really work around, how to make the treasure ownership as easy as possible with the lawyers that he talked to. Okay. I'm probably forgetting something, guys. That's all I have right now. Biggest thing is I just wanted to announce the winner of the Arrowhead. Matt, congratulations. I'm going to notify you. Everybody, like the video, subscribe, please. Make a comment on if you think it's buried, not buried. Give me some ideas on what you think about the spot. You know what I'm saying? Let's keep using the comment section for the next week or so. And then I'm going to launch our forum and blog for our community in a week. Everyone's going to get an invite. And then finally, this is the point for next week's winner, this translucent one. Okay? One other thing, and this will be in closing. Guys, if you don't want the arrowhead, Okay, if you win, like Matt, you won this one right here, right? If you don't want the arrowhead and you're new to the chase and you're in need of the book, the Thrill of the Chase, or if you're in need of the wall map, you want one of the nice wall maps of the search area. For whatever reason, if you don't want the point, you have the option to pick either the Thrill of the Chase book or the wall map, and I'll do that as well. So going forward, the winner gets their choice of the point of the week, Thrill of the Chase book on the wall map. And I'm doing that, guys, because a lot of subscribers are new. You know what I'm saying? So they might not have the book, and they might not have or they might have the book. They might want the nice wall map to put behind, you know what I'm saying, in their office or whatever. It's kind of, just to have fun with this, make it the hobby that it is for some of us. Okay, so keep that in mind. So I'll let everyone know in the next video what Matt decided. And the next winner gets to pick this translucent point or book or map. And I think that's about it, guys. Okay, thank you. I miss you guys. Let me know what you're thinking about everything. And I'll have another video for sure in about 3 or 4 days. Again, this is kind of just a hello again. I'll have some more in-depth stuff that you expect from me in the next few days. Okay, thanks, guys.